Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Spumelele Zondi with your technology and social media news. We hope you are having a great 2019 thus far. Remember that if you want to be a part of this tech conversation, you can find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Our Twitter poll is asking if you will follow former President Jacob Zuma's new Twitter account. Results of that poll are coming up later in the program. Here's what's coming up in the show. We explore how the number of people who watch online videos has increased. In Ethiopia, we find out about robotics. And our discussion is on data analytics. Winza Kumede from PBT Group is here for that one. Hello, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so what is data analytics, Winza?
Data analytics is a way of converting data into information using analytical models.
All right, hold that thought. We will have that discussion later in the program. First, your technology and social media news. Now, in the last year, we've been finding out that the number of people who watch videos online is increasing. Research shows that on average, we spend more than an hour a day watching these online videos. The SABC has also had its own online successes with the medium. Then there was the World Cup, which also saw a lot of success.
Arabs pushing forward, for the challenge, and he's there!
On the official KFC South Africa YouTube page, this video has been shared over 2 million times.
Arabs is looking for the red card here.
It then gets shared by others on their pages. It is further shared by many other websites, by users of social media networks like Facebook, WhatsApp and others. The South African video of a diving footballer who then rolls all the way to the fast food chicken restaurant is undoubtedly an international hit.
We wanted Africa to see the ad, and we had the entire world seeing the ad. The amount of interaction has been phenomenal. I mean, our latest number in terms of impressions is 3 billion.
Madiba teaches us that some principles really are universal. And
then there's this SABC video of the Mandela lecture by former American President Barack Obama. It has been viewed over 13 million times on YouTube alone and more audiences on Facebook Live.
We had to test a lot of technology. We've never done that before, and definitely not on this scale. We had excellent support from YouTube Africa.
Online success with a video is something that doesn't just happen.
Involve people, make people feel like they're part of the action, and also that's an easy way of getting people to share it. And also it needs to, if it connects to something that's newsworthy.
Zenith's online video forecast for 2018 suggests that the average time spent watching online video is growing. They predict that it will be 67 minutes a day compared to 56 minutes last year. There will be further growth in future as it's expected to be at 84 minutes in 2020. In Ethiopia, we find out that there is a lot of work being done to give robotic skills to young people. A local group helped in the work that went into humanoid robot Sophia. Sophia even has Saudi citizenship now. Some say humanoid robots will eventually walk with us on the roads.
What if 20 years from now, robots walk the streets alongside humans, doing many of the same jobs that you and I do today? There is no question for Ethiopian developer Garnet Asifa that artificial intelligence makes this a reality. Asifa is a scientist and co-founder of ICOG Labs, an artificial intelligence research space in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa. ICOG was part of a team of scientists that developed the software for Sophia, the world's first human robot. Sophia has even learned some Arabic, the developers say. Designed with the high cheekbones and a slender nose, the robot, who is also a citizen of Saudi Arabia, can display 60 types of facial expressions and carry a conversation. Yet few people know that Ethiopia one of Africa's fastest growing economies, is home to a team of developers that worked in a collaboration with its creator, Hong Kong-based Hudson Robotics.
IcoGlove is one of most strongest AI outsourcing companies in Africa. We have a part in developing of world leading robot in emotional and expressive. We call this Sophia robot. She got also citizen from Saudi Arabia. We have a major development parts in that. We are building the world leading AI blockchain platforms. We call this SingularityNet.io. We are a core participant of this one. So I can say that we are in the leading edge of AI and blockchain. But nobody thinks that this image is true. Nobody thinks that this is the reality.
ICONG has customers in the USA, Canada, Hong Kong and China and Ethiopia. Asifa says AI and other kinds of innovations, given the right support, could give Ethiopia the push it needs to catch up and bypass other countries. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, in power since March this year, has already promised major economic reforms his government says are designed to unleash the potential of the private sector. While internet access remains among the lowest in the region, Asifa sees more opportunity than ever before under the leadership of the PM Abiy.
Dr. Abiy is from IT background, so I think he will understand what type of problem we will face. So I hope within a year or 2-3 years, things will be changed, definitely. And, I mean, we are even seeing that one of our problems is internet connection. We are paying $1,000 or $2,000 for having a very small internet connection that we can't even see videos. And yesterday, everything is changed. We now can have a double internet connection. This is one example that we are seeing that.
On AI, some researchers say there is no need to panic because AI will never advance to human levels. It is actually expected to create a growing demand for certain skilled workers, including data analysts.
Off to Cameroon now, where Janet Fafang is passionate about giving tech skills to young girls. In her classes, the girls learn how to create using technology. She doesn't leave out boys either, but gives a special focus to girls.
A robot whizzes across the pavement, obeying the remote control commands of 15-year-old Xaviera Ngwefo and her team in Yaoundé, Cameroon. Xaviera and her friends are among 20 young Cameroonians studying at the Next Gen Center.
It helps me grow intellectually, and as well it inspires me every single day. Also, I'm a girl and I want to gain my respect as well. So because in robotics, the theory part we do in class is being directly applied as we build the robot.
The center is the brainchild of Janet Fafang, a pioneer scientist and teacher who aims to train the future tech innovators of her country.
If there's any young girl that has exceptional ability and is extraordinary, it's all about helping them get to where they want to go to.
NextGen has a particular focus on getting girls interested in technology as a way to help women move away from poverty.
It is a SABC network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News network at sabc.co.za. On email. After the break, we'll chat to BBT Group's Windsor Gumede about adopting new technologies. Stay with us. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Now, if you are still wondering if gaming is a spectator sport, maybe the next story will help you. A team from Morocco recently won the African leg of the Electronic Sports World Cup. They were competing in front of spectators in the city of Casablanca.
An African gaming competition, the first region-wide event of its kind, saw 7 teams battle it out in an international video gaming tournament. Contestants crouched over computer screens for several hours as audience watched players go head-to-head in a multiplayer video game, Counter-Strike. Each contestant wanted to get the top spot at the Electronic World Cup, the main highlight of the African Gaming Fest. The event was organized by Moroccan telecommunications company Inouï.
We wanted this event to be open to the public and all ages. We are pleasantly surprised that so many people came. Many came with their families.
The cash prize was $7,000. Some say international esports competitions can help bring nations together.
It is a very positive thing that can bring nations together and a good instrument of communication. Additionally, gaming is very neutral and it is distant from everything that is political or biased in any way.
The participating countries include Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Egypt, Nigeria, Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire.
Now, as the new year starts, you are probably thinking about adopting new technologies that can help in your business. Some of these can help you do the work faster and improve your analytics. To talk to us about this is Windsor Kumete. He is a senior BI consultant at PBT Group. Hello, and thank you very much for joining us, Windsor.
Thanks for having me.
In 2019, are we still going to see the same tech trends that we were seeing previously?
Some of them are still going to be seen. Namely, which is master data management and data quality management. These have been quite a challenge for organizations to actually keep their data at the highest level of accuracy, timeliness, and you definitely need to ensure that your data quality index is at its highest level. Now, when you take those things into consideration, what is this data actually being used for? This data is actually being used to make decisions. You cannot use data which is inaccurate to make business decisions. Of course, it affects your business intelligence sector in order for you to make sound business decisions. So master data management is basically having a unified platform that allows you to collect and store and ensure that there's one enterprise view of data assets like customer information, vendor information, supplier information, whatever the case may be. Those are data assets that do not frequently change. The attributes of those data assets do not frequently change. So we call them slowly changing dimensions, but I don't want to deal into the technical jargon.
The thing is, where do the people there who would then be analyzing that data come from?
The people that will analyze the data can come from the organization. You can employ data analysts. You can employ business analysts, because what we found is that there's a shortage of skill in those areas, especially in the public sectors. But however, in the private sectors, they are actually employing people who have those.
How did you find this out?
This is through experience. Our company has many years of experience, but I personally have 10 years experience in the BI space. So I've interacted with different organizations, not so much on the public sector, but we have people who are in the public sector. So we share the knowledge of the learnings from one space to another space. So primarily in the telecoms field, I know that there's a lot of advancements that is actually happening, you know, even in South Africa and outside of South Africa, even though some of these companies actually exist within SA and outside SA. So I've had the pleasure of working in the Middle East for quite a number of years. And
are they doing better than us in the Middle East?
They are sort of in the Middle East. Well, it depends where you look at it.
Well, in terms of data analytics and data analysts.
Yes, there is obviously companies who are excelling. You know, if you take a look at places like Dubai, you know, we cannot compare to them at this current point, because obviously they've got the funding for it and they can invest more. You know, I think one of the challenges is also the budget. You know, companies that don't have, you know, the funds cannot actually invest and capitalize on data analytics as much as companies who actually have the funds. Because remember, to get a competitive advantage...
So is it only about funding then? So if a company went out to look for them in South Africa, are they in abundance?
What is in abundance?
Data analysts.
Data analysts and data scientists. Sorry, I forgot to mention data scientists, because you need to build a team of data scientists. a data scientist are those nerds.
Yeah.
You know, the super nerds.
Are they in abundance in South Africa?
They are not in abundance. They are not in abundance anywhere in the world.
Because we often hear about a skill shortage, we hear about youth unemployment, we hear about unemployed graduates.
Yes.
So, and we have skill shortages. What's the problem?
Well, the problem with that is, you know, I think what is being taught in universities does not translate to what is actually happening in the real world. You know, yes, we do get the basics, but there's other companies who are offering graduate programs which actually give you the necessary skills for you to be able to start doing some of these things. I've had the pleasure of interviewing 15 candidates recently, and most of them have the potential. It's all about the thought process. We're not really analyzing whether they can actually do the job now. It's about, do they have the right attitude?
Yeah.
You know, do they have the fundamentals in place? So those are the things. I think companies need to start actually starting up graduate programs, because I came from a graduate program myself.
Yeah.
And I believe that that was the necessary grounding that I actually needed in order for me to excel and be where I am today.
And some of the work that you do is in artificial intelligence. We've been looking at a lot at artificial intelligence during the show. How's South Africa faring there?
Oh, South Africa is not faring very well, but there is companies who are actually starting to try things out. I think it's more of the decision makers also need to be aware of what the technology entails and what it can do for us, and whether it can really give you a competitive advantage. I think they also need to be educated to some level, because you get to companies and you're trying to make a pitch. Meanwhile, the person doesn't really understand as to what you are putting on the table.
Yeah.
So those type of things actually become
what we touched on,
problematic.
especially on the Ethiopian case, are cases of like humanoid robots. But that's not the artificial intelligence we're talking about here. What artificial intelligence are we talking about when it comes to the business sector?
In terms of the business sector, I think also drone technology is still also in relation to artificial intelligence. When we talk about artificial intelligence, we're talking about, they call it the human genius, the ability of machines to be able to do what humans can do. You know, you can also
but
program...
they do them faster.
Yeah, they do them faster
And
at an
better.
exponential speed,
Yeah.
and better. But I think things like autonomous cars, I think there's a misconception that machines cannot make mistakes. You know, and I think that's a big misconception, because I think there's been about 3 crashes of autonomous cars that has been reported in the world, but how many real human accidents have been reported? So over the trial space, this is what has been happening. So people are actually reluctant to adopt even the technology because of the things that is being fed in the media. But I mean, if you look at the stats, you know, how many of those have been tested? You know, what's the percentage of the crash rate? Those are some of the things that we need to look at. See, I'm going into data analysis right now.
All right, Twinza Kumete, thank you very much for joining us.
All right, thank you.
All right, Twinza Kumete there is from the PBT group. So he believes that a lot of trends from now to into the future are looking at data analytics, artificial intelligence. So maybe if you think about something to study in 2019, those are some of the things you need to look into as well. Now, we caught up with musician Michaela Jones. She told us about her favorite piece of technology.
Hi everyone, my name is Michaela Jones and I am a freelance performing artist. My favorite device, and the device I cannot live without, is definitely my phone, because it's the only way I get to interact with people without actually interacting.
It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Now, Google is spending $1 billion to build new campuses in New York, and an Israeli spacecraft gets final component before 2019 moon launch. These are just some of the stories that made headlines and that we can look forward to in 2019.
Google is investing more than $1 billion on new campus in New York. becoming the second major technology company after Amazon to be America's financial capital to expand and create thousands of jobs.
What firms need to do is go where people want to work, where they can get the talent. And New York is one of those cities that has sort of proved itself as being able to attract, young, tech, millennial type talent. And I think fundamentally, especially, unemployment is very low. And in the tech business, it's very hard to get workers. New York is one of the places where you can find them.
Google hopes to start moving into the buildings beginning in 2020 and plans to double its New York headcount to 14,000 in the next 10 years. Now let's move to Japan. The Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry in Japan has stated plan to allocate about $40 million in its 2019 budget to support flying car technology. The government has also organized a task force of companies from across aviation, automotive and information technology sectors to help Japan catch up to its competitors.
Some of members is from airplane company, some from helicopter company, some from car company, and some from drone company.
While Tokyo's futuristic architecture may look ready for this technology, more safety measures will be put in place before flying cars can become a reality for commuters.
Mobility itself won't make the city different. For example, infrastructure or electricity or many things is needed for flying car world. Zoning one is not only Japanese problem but also worldwide problem. So now we and the other country get together to make new rules or new infrastructure for better flying car business and flying car world.
Off we go to Israel. Israel engineers have loaded a digital time capsule which is the final component onto a spacecraft destined for the moon. The Spatial team aimed to land the craft early in 2019. This will be the first mission of its kind since 2013, and if successful, Israel will be the fourth country to carry out a controlled soft landing of an unmanned spacecraft on the moon.
Spacecraft is completely built, tested, and we are going to close the cover of the spacecraft, and the spacecraft will be ready to ship to Cape Canaveral in a few weeks.
And on Twitter, we are asking you if you will follow former President Jacob Zuma's new Twitter account. Now, 22% of respondents say they will follow the former president. There's 48% of you who say you are already following him. That's the majority. 27% say they will not follow him. And lastly, there's 3% who say they do not have Twitter accounts. And yet, you answered our Twitter poll without your Twitter account. And that's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za on email. We leave you with visuals of affectionate companion robot from Japan designed to make users happy. From me and the rest of the network team, Happy New Year. Bye-bye.